Hey, it's Future Bigfoot. Welcome back to Stationeers. We're playing our Venus Brutal Start series. It is currently day 197. This is a continuation of the previous episode that I had to cut into two parts due to it being super long. Anyways, let's jump back in and let's get going. There's a lot to do and no time to do it. A little bit of time has passed in this episode. Life got in the way after I had recorded half of this episode, but anyway, now we are back to record the other half of this episode. All right, so I've had a poke around and there's a few things going on. Let me just quickly eat a potato. That we need to do. We're gonna have to do a little bit of building, set up a little bit more coolant, set up a bit more AC work, I should say. This room is currently only being controlled manually at this point, since our CO2 is non-existent in the pump, so I have to make sure that we have plenty of CO2 in the room. We're down to about 3-4% right now. Go ahead and add some more. I did swap out some of the well, I thought I had swapped out some of the plants. I'm going to swap out some of the plants. Let's just do that now. Close the fridge because who lives in a barn, right? Alright, I want some more tomatoes. So we'll plant a few more of those. I think I'm going to plant some wheat. Got plenty of wheat there. I think once you're done, I'll probably make you another nitrogen consuming soybean plant. Oop, how are we doing in here? Getting a little hot. Hot, hot, hot. Spaghetti Monster is doing a fantastic job, though, of cooling the area down. So it won't take too long. We're at 8% CO2. That's fantastic. 61 megapascals is a bit low. But that happened when we expanded the room, but it'll slowly, gradually go up. Alright. Some other things that we need to do. We need to work a bit on our tank controller. I need to take the furnace off of the power switch here because the pipe in here blew up again. So we're gonna have to open that up and deal with that mess. It never ends with that thing. I don't know why it's a problem, and I think I'm just gonna leave it on permanently because I think that would be the easiest way to fix that issue. We've got trace amounts of gas in here, so let's turn on the external vent. Alright. Power is a bit of a problem, but I found some broken cables up there. I think when I was running the solid generator during the storm, it caused some blown out cables. I'm going to need to get a coolant pipe over here to the volatiles. It's a bit hot, which means that it's going to just ignite the fuel, which we don't want. We need to work on our water today. This water is getting pretty precious at this point. We are doing fairly okay with oxygen, but we have plenty of volatiles, so that's not an issue there. Yeah, all of that'll work itself out. So, yep, let's get started. I also printed out a whole bunch of pipage to do the ventilation in this room. We're going to need 2 large heat exchangers for the liquid side of the water. We have one out there for the gas side to help cool down this guy. This cools it down to the outside temperature, then we have to cool it down further to get it to condense, and then once it's in here, then we have to cool it down even more to get it down to a usable temperature. So yeah, I'm gonna need a heat exchanger for that guy. I want to do the large one just because the water is super dense and it takes a lot, so the small ones, which I'm using for the other gases, aren't going to work for that guy. Anyways, a lot to do and no time to do it, so let's first get started by making a heat exchanger. Large direct heat exchanger with some steel. Okay, so while that is printing, I want to take a look at this guy. Alright, so in here there's a couple of things that we need to do to add. So let's define the air conditioner. Air conditioner. We need a valve, so the digital valve. Digital valve, there we go. We'll need the filter. So the filtration. And I want the pipe analyzer. Pipe analyzer. Good. Let's see. This is for setting the temperature in, or sorry, the pressure in the furnace room. That's dealing with our hot tank, our waste tank, our cold tank. Okay, so then down here, we're gonna have to use batch name since we're out of pens. We want to load into R0 from the analyzer the hash of the main cool, not the valve, I think I named it anal. Not to be dirty. Don't think of it dirty. We're gonna get the temperature of the analyzer. Then I want to check if the cool valve is on, because if it's on, I don't want to have the main cool valve also on. And then as a safety check, we're going to set greater than, looks like 203.15, which would be about minus 70 C. So as long as the coolant pipe is greater than 70 C, then we'll allow the valve to open and cool down the main coolant valve, or the main coolant line. Yeah, so if both of those are true, then we get a 1, and then we set batch name to the valve. Oops. Which is the hash main cool valve on and R0. And then we should just jump back to the start. Okay, now with solder, we don't need to be super cold with it, so I think if we aim for like 200, 225 C, we'll be good. I don't need to cool that main nitrogen tank for the furnace all the way down to minus 70. That's just crazy and a waste of power. So 200 C is 473.15. So 473.15. That is 200 degrees C. So as long as it's greater than 200 C, so we'll cool down the cold tank down to 200 C. So that should actually save us a bunch of power. And then here we only want to cool down that pipe if it is above 70C. So that should work out great. Okay, so let's take you, export you. Any errors? No. Good. Oh, I forgot to take the furnace off of the power switch. Was that controlled in here? It was. So we are going to just comment out that line in case I change my mind later. Export you, put you there. Alright, so now I should be able to turn that on and off independent of the power switch. Okay. Toss that in there because we'll need that later. We're going to toss that guy in there. We'll need him later. I have lots of pipes. Good. Alright. So one design flaw that I made was that the branch for the two different cooling lines is after the cool valve here, so I actually need to redo this, add a little bypass in here. So just do that real quick. So we'll go out that way and then I believe straight. Okay, so that has turned off because the cold tank is less than 200. It's down to about 120, 100 or so. Let's go ahead and fix up this pipe. Oop, not the floor. Now I might have to figure out how to put like some kind of a tank or something in there to keep that from bursting. I don't know why it keeps bursting. And now I can't repair you, so let's go ahead and just dismantle you for the moment. And put a window back in here. Alright, so we'll worry about repressurizing it later. But at least that guy is now fixed up. Okay, so let's go outside and deal with that. Alright, so let's come on out here, and what I want to do then is put down some frameage. Just down here. It's gonna be in the ground.
Waste tank caution.
That's gonna be ugly, but that's what we gotta do. Now I can't put it right up against the wall. I can't put it there because I need the pipes to go down, so we'll go here. We need a gas and liquid. Liquid will be on that side. Good. I need regular pipes, which I did not bring out with me. And then the other guy that we're going to need for the heat exchanger, I think we could just do maybe here. Coolant pipe is over there. I would have to run it up and over. So if we do gas, but we put it over this way, that should be fine. So run the coolant up there. We can run the little bit into the room atmosphere. Alright, so I'll need to get some regular pipes from inside. This guy, we're gonna need to go... Oh, let's go down. You connect right there. There we go. Now we'll need the coolant pipe. This guy. Put you there, and then we'll have you come up. Come up and over this way. And we'll go down. There we go. So then I'm going to need to run some cable out here. And run it backwards like that, because then I could get up on top of the pipes and check to see if it's actually open or not. Be a little bit easier to see. And then I think I have a cable. Where's my cable? Hello, cable. I think you're just right there. Yep. Put that away.
Waste tank critical.
Yes, there's already a cable right there.
High.
Uh-oh.
Temperature critical.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Oxygen low. Oxygen critical.
Eek, eek, eek.
Cognition low.
Run away!
Cognition critical. Cognition low.
Ooh-wee.
Cognition critical.
That was a close one.
Cognition low.
Barely made it back into the base. Oh, man. Alright. Whoops.
Temperature high.
Forgot to, empty out my tanks a little bit.
Temperature high.
Oops. Alright, well, I guess while I'm here, I'll go ahead and eat a potato so that we can avoid the nasty heavy breathing. Close you, on you.
Hunger caution.
Alright, 115 switchgrass going out to the grinder. Get turned into lovely power and volatiles. All right, tanks are better. That was a real treat. Okay. CO2 is doing good. Alright, so I got a bit of pipe. So we'll be able to finish this guy off. Wrench. There we go. Torch and steel sheet. Steel sheet. Torch. Ba-boom. Alright, now let's get this cable out here. With some ugly, ugly wiring. We'll figure that out inside. Let's go ahead and go down. Go down to you and into you. Do you have power? You do. Perfect. Okay. While we're out here, let's go ahead and paint this bad boy. So you are supposed to be black, because you are a part of that atmospherics cable. Same thing with you. And same thing with you. Excellent. Guess I could make you purple, since you're a cooling valve. There we go. You should be purple. You should be purple. Alright, so now we have a way of cooling down our water. Let's name this guy. We'll call him liquid water valve. The liquid water cool valve. And then this one we're actually going to rename to steam cool valve. Steam exchanger cool valve, anyway. Okay. Put you there, you there. You guys can close. Missing a tool, so it'll be my laptop. You can go there. Whee! Why am I being sucked up? Stop it. Need to work here. Okay. Pipes. Yep, those are pipes. And a wrench. Okay. And a welder. Perfect. Yep. So I'm gonna want to go up and over this. And that's all the pipe I have for that. Take you off, add you. Alright. Yep, I'm gonna put a yellow one in there and then there.
Hydration critical.
And then I'll probably put the valve right here. And I'll have this one facing down so I can see it from down there to see that it's on. Yep, that'll work. Throw you on the ground. Let's grab the black paint again. Go ahead and run this guy down into... You know, I said I was going to make a potato to eat, and then I didn't eat it. That is fantastic. So let's make you purple. Probably end up repainting these guys at some point to make them make more sense. Okay. So that should be everything that we need for water. We really need to get water going again. Let's head on inside.
Warning, storm incoming.
I love that suit alarm. It's so great. Warning, storm incoming. Alright, so we've got a little over 5 minutes to do this. Well, I don't think there's really anything we need to do outside currently. I will go ahead and make a bunch of pipe though. Have you used up all the last of the silicone on that? Alright, let's make some water. Because water is fantastic. Let's go ahead and clear this. Alright, so there's a few things that we're going to need. We're going to need the water filter. And we're going to set that to the DV because this is where we're going to store the chip. We're going to need the combustor to D0. And we'll need the water tank to D1. Now the filter's only got 2 pens, so that is the end of the pens. Let's see what else we need. We need... I want the combustor to control the mixer. I'm gonna want a warning light. We'll need the digital valves. I think that is good enough for the moment. So let's go get the mixer. Mixer. Come on. There you go. Apparently I can't click a mouse. We're gonna want our warning light, which is going to be a flashing light. Define the valve, which again, my god, I can't type today, is the digital valve. Alright, let's start. Yield the typical loop. Alright, so let's start with the combustor. So load into R0 from the combustor, and then I want the ratio of volatiles on the input. Then I'm going to divide that by 2. And then set that to the mixer. And then go back to the start. Right. Where's that chip? Chippy, chippy, chip. There you are. So if you put that in there, turn you on. Unknown error at line 10. Oh, because I don't have the combustor and stuff yet. Right. Turn you off. You did not filter all the things yet. I actually don't want it to filter those things yet, so that is good. Alright, so you are going to be the H2 combustor. And then you are the water tank. Yes, good. Now before I do, or turn that back on, I want to set the filter, filter mode 0. So I should just put it in an idle state. Line 8. Oops. Define. Alright. You are idling, so you should not be filtering. Now, what do we have on the mixer setting? Input of 99.7 on input 2. Come on, which one of you is input 2? I think the side is input 2. That's not gonna work. So if I multiply, what happens if I multiply it? If I divide by 2 and then multiply by 100. There it is. I think I would expect the numbers to be slightly different, but I mean, I guess it's close enough. Okay, I guess that'll work for now. Okay, so we're controlling our fuel. The mixer. Load into R0 from the combustor. The pressure input, and if it is less than we'll say 1 megapascal, then I want to set the mixer on R0. Right now though, I do not want that to happen, so we're gonna just comment it out and we can turn it on later. Okay, so that is taking care of that. So I don't want to overpressure that one section, so if I say load into R0 from the combustor, the pressure output, As long as the pressure on the output is less than, say, 5 megapascals, then set the combustor on R0. I think I'm actually going to change this. So R2, R2. And then I'm going to add this line in a little bit later. So that should be fine. Okay, so now we're going to load into R0 from the filter, the pressure output. That's output 2. Filtration. Filtered. Filtration. Output 2. Okay, so I want output. I want the pressure on the output. Good. If less than... I think we'll just go 5 megapascals again. Space 5 megapascals. So we'll set filter mode R0. Okay, and then I also want to just set the combustor's mode to 0 as well up here. Okay. So that's all fine and dandy. Now where's my flashing light? Do I have a flashing light? I do not. I want a flashing light. I think I'll just put it right above the water machine. I'm gonna hook you up there, and then I think I can just get a wire from right up there. There, and... okay. Connect you in... right there. Okay, and what are you named? You were water cool rad valve. Okay, now I want to check the filters on the filtration unit. Slot 0. I want the quantity and the... yeah. To R1, filter 1 slot, and quantity. Set less than into R0 if R0 is less than 0.10. So if it's less than 10%, then I want the light to come on. Same thing with the second slot. And then I'm going to say if either of those is true, and to be a little more consistent, R1, then I'm going to set the warning light. So set bash and warning light. Warn light, there it is. On and R0. Now that's actually going to have to be a named, so we'll do named. Oops. Oops. All right, hash. Water warn light on R0. Okay. Oh, mouse is freaking out. Alright, so you are good. You need to be called water, warm light. Okay, export you, put you there. If either of those is out, the light comes on.
Hydration critical.
Excellent. You're active when you shouldn't be for some reason. And that's because I was an idiot and turned that on. Well, now we just lost a bunch of water, but I guess that's okay. Oh well. So much for trying to save it. Alright. I can go ahead and confirm you. Actually, I don't want to do that because that is too hot. You're too hot to make fuel with. Okay, what else do I need? What else? I think that pretty much takes care of the filter unit. So now I want to actually control the combustor to come on if there's not enough water. Okay, I'm actually going to change this to be R3. Alright, so now we're going to load into R0 from the tank. And I want the volume of liquid that is in the tank. Volume of liquid that is in the tank. If the tank has less than, let's just go 50 for now. Liters of water.
Hunger caution.
Then I want to turn the combustor on. So then I'm going to say and, because if the pressure of the combustor's output which is R2, and there's less than 50 liters of water, then I want to turn the combustor on. Combustor on. Nope. Mode R0. So if I say and into R0, R0 and R3 are both correct, so if the pressure on the filter's output is less than 5 megapascals, yeah, we could do it that way and see how that works. Filter mode R0, so I want to turn the filter on before I turn the combustor on. Just in case. Do want to have you off for the moment. I think that is all that we need to do for the water, though. No, it's not. Because we need to actually cool the stuff down. Okay, load into R0 the... Load into R0 from the filter temperature output. And then if it is greater than the outside Venus temperature, okay, so if it's greater than basically 468 C, which is 5 degrees hotter than Venus's outside temperature, then we're going to set the valve, which I've already forgotten what it's called. I think it was water cool rad valve, on, and give it R0. But water cool rad valve. Yes. Mouse went a little nutso, but we are back. All right, so yes. So if the temperature on the output is greater than that, then we want to turn that one on. And then we want to load into R1 from the filter temperature output. If it is less than it's less than or equal to 740, yep, 41.15, which is 468 C. Nope, that has to be R1. So provided that the water cool rad valve is not on and the temperature is less than or equal to 741.15, then I want to turn on the other valve. Right, so set batch name. This is going to be valve in hash. I think it was steam heat exchanger cool valve on and R0. Okay, steam X cool valve on R0. Could make this R1 and then do one final check. Load into R2. Yeah, we don't need R2 at this point. Load into R2. From the, yep, tank the temperature. If the tank temperature is greater than, we'll say 40 C, 313.15, which is 40 C, then we want to turn on the liquid water cool valve. Yep. So then we can say, we can just put this into R0 at this point. So if R1 and R2. So if the steam cool valve is on, Set equal to 0 if R1 is R1. Okay, so since we're doing the check here, basically we're checking to see if this valve is on, doing the opposite. So if it's a 0, it'll be a 1. If it's a 1, it's a 0. So that lets us know if it's on. We're going to do the same thing for this valve. And then we're checking if the temperature and that valve is on, then we can set the other valve. Hash, and you are liquid. Oh my god, I can't remember. Liquid, water, cool valve, I think is what you are. I'll have to go outside and check again. On, and feed you R0. So now if I export that into you, okay, you are not on. What is the tank temperature? It's 113. That's fine, that's all condensing down. Oh great, I can't see that. I can't see that one outside. That's a bummer. Yeah, but you were not on. So I'm thinking that you probably should be. But I can't tell what that one is doing. Can I get a reading on this pipe? Yep. All right. Well. Should be able to turn the combustor on. So it's then increasing the temperature. Okay, so at the moment it's still... It is rising. So when the temperature in here gets above 468, that should turn off. That one should turn on. And then you should stay off. There we go. Excellent. So the radiator one took over. That's good. Oop. You're off. Oh shit, you're on. So that didn't work. Need to adjust that. The other thing that we need to see... Oh, we never finished setting up this. Oh man. That's not good. So I need to name you main cool valve, but we need to move this guy up. We need to move him up to here. So you are named main cool valve. Do a little wire. Grab you, split you. There we go, you're back on, perfect. You go there. Grab my wrench. So you go straight there, and then you need to come out here and connect up to there. So that should allow the spaghetti monster over here for the furnace to now take over the cooling on the coolant pipe here. So that's going to heat up. No, you should not be heating up. You do not appear to be. You are heating up, but should be cooling down. But you are. Excellent. Oh, good lord. There we go. Okay, temperature has come down enough for the cooling to take over again. But I need to fix you. You should not have come on. So if this is too high, then turn it on. Okay, so if that is on, we have 1. The temperature on the output is less than that. Here I could say as long as R1 and R0 into R1 if R1 and R0. So we're already doing that check here. But now we're wanting to make sure that both of them are off. So if both of them are off, yep. If both of them are off and then the temperature, yeah, so that should work. Export you, turn you on. You are not on. I assume that you are on. You are not on. All right. Okay, that immediately ignites. I think that should be showing a whole lot less of input too. So that code is still not working.
Critical.
It's fine, I suppose. All right. Well, water is working. We have the ability to cool down, make water. So that's finally set up. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. Next episode, I'm gonna need to run a coolant pipe over here. I'm gonna need to set up another filtration. I think what I'm gonna do is, since we have a lot of volatiles coming in, and not a lot of oxygen, I think that I want to just go ahead and filter out any volatiles that find its way into the hot side pipe network. And then I'm gonna need to connect that over here to this one, and then set up something that once it's cooled down enough, then we can put it in here and then start filtering.
Hunger caution.
So that's kind of what we got to work on next. So filtration unit for volatiles to get rid of that, and then we can start working on that. I will need to add some air to this room in order to get the Stirling engine going. For that, I need to get the heat exchanger up there set up, and also the room ventilation. But I think we're really close. Getting the water back online is a huge step though. But I definitely need to get this cooled down to a usable temperature so that we can actually make some fuel without it auto-igniting, which is not cool. So yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you guys joining me today. I'm sorry this was kind of a weird one. Life kind of got in the way of things halfway through, so hope you all don't mind. I'll probably only be able to get like one more episode out. Looks like the terrain update is coming along really nicely. I will do my best, but until next time, I will see you all later. Thanks for joining me today.